matters. We need pure data, we need clean data, we need quality data, which I think is what you're doing here, and saying, this is leaky, this is poor. We can improve the data collection process by maximising the conditions in which we harvest the data, which was the scary bit, because that's when I thought, fuck me, I don't want my data collected in quite that way. I want to make sure...
You're not a data cow.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be built. And I thought, hang on, that's not the sort of thing that I'm expecting to see a serious critical architecture student saying, I believe this stuff. Because this is big state, big data, and it's going to control our lives in a way which I don't think we all want. We don't understand quite the ramifications of this, and I wanted you to be critical of it. So I asked you if you're going to be satirical, and you didn't say yes. So I'm worried that you actually believe this nonsense. We can't stop it. Well, can you start to say, actually, there are places in the world where we might want to use this stuff creatively, but actually not in our personal lives? Or is it everywhere that you think this data collection is? Because I look at all of this, and it's the life of a student in their own apartment, in their workplace, and in their relaxed space. Everywhere is legitimate for data collection. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Jeez.
Because you are in the world and everything you are expressing yourself, just like
You know,
if I stand here and all my data is actually
you know the
the
bad news about data collection
Yes.
is happening in certain states where people who don't conform to a certain way of life, the data shows that they are non-conformist and they lose privileges. It's a way in which the data is used negatively. Is that good? Surely you don't think that's good?
No, it's not good for now. It's just like, because I believe because the common value always change because the development of the society. Although some value cannot be changed, but some of them, because this all is from there is an art installation, the TV Buddha. Do you know that? Yeah. So actually, they just like a Buddha looking look at TV and the surveillance cameras shoot at him. Yeah. So it's like actually sometimes you have to live with the situation, because I don't see the future like we can stop everything's happening. So
no, but we could make architecture which camouflages. We could make architecture which allows people the freedom to develop their life.
Yeah. So this is
Can I
also
say something?
yes. Sure.
I think that we're not here to judge ethics.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I think
Morality and architecture.
obviously we differ. We are here to judge architecture. So, as you say, I'm absolutely sold to roughly that line. I think it's very sharp, very acute, very value-free. So that tempts you to say it's sarcastic
sure.
or ironic. I would say it's value-free, or you can argue it's value-free. Now, I'm from Holland. In Holland, we've got a lot of architects who do this trick. The best well known is, of course, is Holy Remnants. And I'm a big fan of Rem. And so he has been talking about New York, and you do the line here, and then this was his design. I was as old as you were, and I was sold to these designs, but that was completely sold. So after that, it was Beijing, it was Africa, and now he has landed in the desert, claiming that the desert is absolutely fine for making design. So my critique with such an approach is not the underlying ethic or the absence of it, or whatever. My critique is the what next step. And what I find a problem with this, let's say, family of architects, is Remnes and MVRDV and all the, there's thousands of them in Holland, is that they fall in love with their analysis. So if REM design something in the desert, you make a better version of it. And when you design something in Beijing, you make a better version of it, or a capitalist version of it, or whatever. Up to the moment that people panic, like you did, and that, of course, is the whole idea of the exercise. So I'm saying this is this the sort of trick you want to play based on all this? I would say that this method is already a given. You can copy it from Rotterdam, and then you can make a data farm, you can design data cows, and you can design data whatevers, and you can design data menus, and you can have robots serving an unasked Chinese or Italian meal. I can see all the tricks coming. I think that's what.
And I have to say, I'm a little lost about what you are planning to do, what the program is, because I remember in the previous review in which we were trying to figure out, and the idea was that this film that we have seen is an art installation, existing ongoing art installation in which they decided to, make, it's like a big production with people move back to 1968 or whatever in a particular scenario under Soviet Union kind of design and lifestyle spaces. And your approach was, we are going to rethink that scenario architecturally. So it's moving from the old panopticon towards what is a contemporary panopticon if you have to create an art installation like this. Then there was Ian Ritchie suggesting, why don't you do the data impact assessment? Why don't you, to support that? Because how do you, from where do you start to create this particular scenario for these kind of experiments, let's say? So it's not to be applied everywhere, Neil, I believe. It's just to be part of some kind of
really
social experiment or whatever. So then he said, why don't we underpin these with, similar to the environmental impact assessment, having some kind of guidelines, and this is your thesis project. So from there, I guess that you have created this story about the profiles, which to me are a little, it's not fully convincing. And I don't know exactly what you are planning to do. What is then the architectural intention? What is what you are planning? What is the spatial and architectural exploration that you are going to try to do after this? Or based on
it's
this?
a good point, but I think Hans makes it in that, is it going to get bogged down in the data of the data, where you start to believe, how you broken down the sort of, the methodology. For me, I think, where it is that the idea of the impact assessment is brilliant, but actually, what is that impact? I don't think you've done anything that tells us what that impact could be in terms of producing a solution architecturally. And equally as well, I'm sort of slightly, uncomfortable about this idea that that data is and the way that it's used. I think Cambridge Analytica opened a lot of eyes in the way that data was used. But I think it goes back to the broader sense in that it affects everybody and has affected everybody since for a long time now, but not just in the sort of as it is as sort of technical data. I think if you go back and look at the unconscious makeup, you have somebody like Jacques Lacan who talks about this thing called the big other, and it's sort of Deus in absenticus. There's always a third person. There's always that sort of God that looks over us, and we're subconsciously programmed to believe that. But I think once that's reviewed by sort of maybe contemporary philosophers like Alan Badiou or Slavoj Žižek, they would say that, you know, the pervading big other isn't as is sort of a problem, but it's actually solvable and that, you know, we can deal with it. It's not the ultimate that we're going to have to fear it as a Orwellian big brother for the rest of our lives. And,
But again, you talk about issues like solve, but you can only solve when there's a problem. And you don't articulate a problem, you are celebrating a problem.
yes, yeah.
So from that, I think, the only piece of proper architecture I see here is the Panopticon.
Yeah.
The Panopticon celebrated the age of mechanization. So and you can value it today. We say, oh, it's awful that one single person could see all the naked prisoners around him. But this makes clear how that mechanization at that time functioned. Am I correct that you are going to design the Panopticon of our age so that you make visible for us what surveillance today means? Or does architecture has become completely irrelevant? So what's your position in this? That's what I would like to know. I would be very interested in seeing this, because then you confront us with the reality, and then we can formulate a problem for our own. If you want to celebrate, that's fine with me, and I will decide whether I have a problem with it. And if I have a problem with it, that is not your mistake. But if I fail to understand it or fail to come up with any understanding of what you're saying, then it is your problem.
Actually, I got worried is because like the Panopticon is like the most extreme examples. So actually, everybody can make a judgment about it because you think it's good, it's bad because it's the extreme cases. But in real world, most of the time, the case is controversial. It's just like maybe not go that far, like the Panopticon, but it's slightly far beyond the, you know, just like the pass it should not, the line you should not pass, but it just pass a little bit and you accept it, and it just like slightly change your value, and you have start to accept the life like this.
But then I'm arguing when you are, when you really are a man, or when you're really a woman, you pass that line. You pass that line.
Yeah,
twofold, fourfold.
Yes. So this is why I think this chart this coordination system is quite important, because it tells us how to compare with the ordinary cases. So we will know which cases it actually is not good because you got like a line here. So everything should not pass it for this line. This is the line that you make in the regulation to help to protect people from the data leaking system. But if we only talk about all these extreme cases, I don't think it's just standing with the point, but it doesn't protect people.
You use far too many words.
Yeah.
What you do there
Yes.
is depict a naked prisoner in a machine. And I want you to show how I look naked in this
Okay.
data world that you're describing, and how I become maximum naked to the max. And then I can make a judgment on where I am.
The problem I see with this is that the Panopticon, as the name already says, it was an optical device in itself, because we didn't have the technology to, you know, to be watching everybody. So it was the space that the electron would provide, that is the point from which you could actually see everybody. Whereas nowadays we have the technology to watch people, which is independent from space. We don't need a building to do that job. You have phones, we have computers, we have all the media is doing that job. So my main question here and concern is, what role does architecture play in this thing? So how is it, because in those days, that was first a prison, so there was a very clear function. And second, it was watching because it was a prison. What is the role of architecture in relation to surveillance? how all this chart, all this discourse that you are having here is actually leading towards underpinning a program related to architecture? It's my main question. What you are thinking?
Well, emphasizing.
Well, let's hear what you're going to say.
I'm just saying this is a maximum of profiles, the strict profile. We think that all this research technology, everything be done like this now. The rest of things is we do. So we can choose that. The maximum is the strength
So you think the role of architecture in this is to make the harvesting of data more efficient?
Yes.
Well, look, let's finish off by looking through this presentation. Why are you talking about this place?
Before we finish, have a concentrate. You've been listening to this conversation, which is all about the rights of the land, collecting data, but also then what does that mean for architects? That's essentially what we're talking about. And I think, I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to get at in your thesis. The rights or wrongs of collecting data, what does that mean for architecture? I think there's a route through this, but I'm just going to make a suggestion, which you may not want to take up. And that is, in the past, the idea of surveillance was actually thought to be a good thing. When Oscar Newman was doing all this stuff on sensible space, surveillance, when done by people, was thought to be a good thing. The problem is now is that surveillance is done electronically, and that means it's somebody else's responsibility. And it's changed from being surveillance for a specific reason, which was to protect people in urban environments, to something which has got a commodifiable value. That's the problem. They're using the data to be used for other methods which we have no control over. It's our control over the data which is the issue. So if you're trying to find out what architecture can do in this scenario, which we now all live in, there's two ways you can go about it. The first one is to do what you're suggesting, which is let's make the data just ubiquitous and it's collected everywhere and it's accurate, but leave the problem of how that data is used to someone else, the politicians, which is all architecture can ever do. But there is another route, and I would, in my view, this is the route you might explore, which is let's make parts of the city immune to data collection. So they're like refuges where people can go and return to that place that we used to be, where people are responsible for other people's safety. And that's how that part of the city works. And so you get to a place where there is no data collection, there is no surveillance, but people who inhabit that space are now responsible for the safety and the operation of the space correctly. And that is an equally difficult problem to design. For me, it's one where architecture actually does not have to work, because electronics can be implemented.
But this one view, I think like you're escaping the problem. You just like want to live in a dream, and this happened.
No, it's not a dream, because if we wanted to happen, we can make it happen. All you need is the same things that architecture always needs. You need a client, you need people to pay for it, and make it happen. So I don't think it's a dream. I think it's a reality.
You've chosen a site run by one owner who has total control of what happens to the space. Argent, landowner, is able to exclude people. He's able to exclude technology because they own that space. So it is possible, and it's an interesting prospect. Can you tell me what that actually is? What ideas are you transposing onto those three sites? What is it that you want to do?
This one, because it's right now is Google MQ is on the now. So I was thinking we want to redesign the Google MQ. It's more like this. So it's like how they using
so
the
you take
data
an existing building, retrofit a sort of surveillance system inside it.
Yes, and for these two, because it is yes.
They're what? What are they?
So
those empty sites, or are they full?
Yes, right now it's the
One's a nature area.
and this is an
Yeah.
and this is just like a square. So these two would want to, because the data, the value of data is like created by people. So the diversity of people create the most valuable data. So this is because this area is about diversity. So we want to engage people in our building so we can help them to hide their data or collect them.
So I imagine that you'd be in the next grid, you'd be showing us how you'd assess those places and how you can intervene with a sort of system that maximises clean data collection. Is that sort of grid? You put in bait, like clickbait, architecture bait, where you attract people to go to, they do activities, and you record what they do. So it's like
I can go two
spatial
ways.
clickbait.
Yeah, there's one way is like to collect some accurate.
Right.
The other one is like create a chaos. So space is so nobody can collect. So it's like a architecture solution to create a private, digital private space.
I'm now remembering that what we discussed previously was, so when Ina was suggesting to do this data impact assessment thing, he said, then your building, what it can do is to be this testing scenario in which, because we haven't, we don't know yet what data impact is, and how we want to use it, or how architecture can, protect or support that in the case that is necessary. Why don't you explore, what you are producing is this first building in which you test the possibilities of what data impact can be, but then what is the program related?
But the great thing about that methodology is it doesn't take a neutral stance. It says there are impacts from the phenomenon.
Yes.
And we then transpose, unlike what Pence said, neutral, you have to then say there is value in certain phenomena that we've identified in that process. And we can enhance that. We can mitigate against it. We can be judgmental and make adjustments to our architecture in order to modulate whether or not in this case, data is